USA and Verizon Wireless announced Tuesday it will roll out the pilot program in Salt Lake City in 2012. Salt Lake City, Mormons, Masonry, ISIS, Palm, kind of linking together here, okay? The ISIS system. You don't know who ISIS is? She is Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. We go back a few episodes and I give a little bit more details on that. Here's another one. Interpol chief calls for global electronic identity card system. The head of Interpol has emphasized the need for a globally verifiable electronic identity card EID system for migrant workers at an international forum on citizen ID projects, e-passports, and border control management. You watch and see. You talk about fusion. You talk about the Hegelian dialect. Here is a country full of red-blooded, apple pie-eating, baseball-loving Americans. And that's what we are. We love America. And I do. I love America. And then we have, for some reason, no president in the last 100 years has ever dealt with the immigration issue. For some reason, especially in the last 20 years, our southern border is just leaking like a sieve. In fact, I am told we've had some visitors from Canada come down to our secret broadcasting compound. I don't know how they found us. That kind of worries me, that anybody could just pull up here and say, this is it right here, okay? But anyway, they've come down from Canada, and they'll tell you, getting across the border from the States to Canada and vice versa, they said it's awful. The checks and the security and everything like that. Those migrant Canadians wanting to move down here and steal all of our jobs. I mean, that's something we got to... And terrorists, Canadian terrorists, eh? Okay, something to worry about. But for some reason, our southern border is they're just walking right in. Why? Opposites. Let's get them to clash. Let's create a huge problem. Huge problem. We got people coming in everywhere that are stealing American jobs and sucking our resources up and not working. Let's do that. Let's allow that to happen. Why? So because we have a system we want to unveil that if there's really no need for it, nobody will go for it. But now, all of a sudden, there's a need for it. You get it? It's about fusion, about crashing things together. Here we go. I couldn't wait to get to this. And I'm going to get to the three-strand baby here in just a little bit. I have had, probably on this one article, I've had more emails sent to me over this one issue, and I've got something to say about it. And I appreciate everybody. You know what you're doing? You're watching. You're watching. You've been reading the Bible. You've been educating yourself biblically. And a news story pops up, and you go, This is that which was spoken. Okay? And I like that. So we're going to kind of lead into it here a little bit. Here's an article. Could man soon be able to breathe underwater? Scientists eye possibility of merging human and algae DNA. It looks like the gillyweed from the Harry Potter films could one day be around. Stop right here. Stop right here. I'm trying to remember the story where one of these scientists had a problem. A genetic scientist or something like that had a problem, and he was watching a Harry Potter movie, and all of a sudden it went, wow, I've just figured out the answer to the problem. Okay, something with DNA or something like that he got from watching a Harry Potter film. And here's another one. Okay, science fiction or fantasy becoming reality. So scientists have discovered a way for humans to potentially breathe underwater by merging our DNA with that of algae, green scum. In research on salamanders, they found that oxygen-producing algae have bonded with their eggs so closely that the two are now inseparable. By studying the mechanism further, they hope that the same process could be applied to humans one day too. This would allow us to swim without coming up for air like Harry does in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. In the film, the slimy plant gives Harry gills on the side of his neck and lets him breathe underwater like a fish. Here's an interesting image for you. It's called Dagon. Okay, you know who he is? Dagon was the god in the Old Testament who wanted the throne of God. He wanted the Ark of the Covenant. He was part man and he was part sea creature. John said in Revelation 13, I saw a beast rise up out of where? Out of the sea. I remember a TV show when I was a kid. I was just fascinated with this show. I thought this was the coolest thing in the world. It was Patrick Duffy, you know, the guy from Dallas and some of these other programs. His first real gig on TV was a film, and then later a short-run TV show called The Man from Atlantis. Now, if you don't know what Atlantis is basically the antediluvian world. In other words, the world that was before the flood with all the giants and the technology and the strange breeding and all the genetic mutations that were going on. That's what Atlantis is. And this whole idea in the occult world is that Atlantis is going to rise again. Well, you understand that. That kingdom that was, by the way, Atlantis was ruled by 10 kings. That's Daniel chapter 7. That's all that Daniel chapter 2, Revelation chapter 13. It all ties together, people. So here we have this man from Atlantis. He's part man, part fish. He's got gills and webbed hands, and he swam funny. And I spent months in a swimming pool learning how to swim like that. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I kept waiting for my fins to grow. Okay? Never happened. Thank God. But now, our scientists can create that. We can take our DNA and mix it with something else to make something better. Is that how it happens? No, that's not how it happens. Here's the story that you've been watching all week. Boy, 2 years old, is first person in the world to be born with an extra strand of DNA. A 2-year-old boy has become the only person in the world to be diagnosed with an extra strand in his DNA. Alfie Clamp was born blind and with severe disabilities, which led doctors to carry out various tests. They revealed his 7th chromosome, interesting, has an extra strand of material which has never been documented anywhere in the world before. Doctors are baffled at his condition, which is so rare it does not have a name. Now, I have sympathy for poor Alfie. He did not choose to be born this way. He did not go receive a mark. And if you really want to know what this is about, we have a video called The Triple Helix, and I explain in that video how, and it's sort of the build-up from Jesus Christ's DNA in the Holy Bible and the mother of all secrets. And when you understand the secret, understand about DNA in the Bible, then you understand when they add something like a 3rd strand of DNA, making a triple helix, when they add that's not good. Okay, that's not a good thing. And yet that's what's being talked about all throughout the scientific realm, is adding something to man's DNA. Now, DNA is the book that God wrote. God wrote a book. And God said, you should not add to or take away from this book. And He said, if you add to, listen to this now. He said, if you add to the words of this book, I will add to you the plagues that are written in therein. God was warning us, don't monkey around, literally, don't monkey around with the book I wrote, with DNA. Don't mess with it, because if you do, the plagues are going to be added unto you. Don't we get that? Don't we understand what's going on? The plagues, go back and look at the plagues that God sent to Egypt. Go look at the 3 woes. Go look at the vials of wrath poured out. Go look at the trumpets and the opening of the seals. Go look at those plagues. God said, when they start messing with my book, I'm going to bring the plagues in. How close are we? So I feel sorry for poor Alfie. You pray for him, okay? Just pray for that. I wouldn't want my kid to turn out this way, but if he does, then praise the Lord, and then we'll raise him and love him and everything like that. So you pray for this family. I feel sorry for him, but here's my point with this, okay? They're talking all the time now about adding something to man's DNA or changing it somehow, some way. Adding this 3rd strand. Well, here's a child who has a 3rd strand of DNA added to his 7th chromosome. Okay? And it doesn't work out very good. It's not working. It didn't